I had to yell at Scott the other day.
You're getting pretty.
What?
I heard a description of a personality type yesterday, and that's Howard. Perfect.
No, because Scott was being lazy. That's no excuse.
Scott is Scott.
No, Scott's going to be a new Scott when I'm done with him.
You're going to remake Scott?
Yeah, or else he's out of here and let him kidnap me and take me to the bank and withdraw $20,000.
You know that those meetings have become this big discussion before you walk in on like who doesn't want to be the target,
right?
You know, and everybody.
Well, whatever. It's not supposed to be like that. It's just it pisses me off.
I know.
When I can't get material. You're my next target.
I'm your last target.
No, I'm gonna have a private meeting with.
Well, he's like every other week, and then you pick a new person.
Yeah, right.
I'm so thrilled because this week we have guests in.
Right.
So I know I can't get yelled at. I'm pretty sure I can't get yelled at in front of the guests, although it's not out of the question.
And then you may come back and be the one who puts the gun in his back.
I prefer to yell at you in front of guests. I need an audience.
No, because one week we had guests in, and it was like you were like a whole different guy.
Was I really? Who was the guest?
Paul Turner.
Oh, get out of here.
I don't remember that.
Because the meeting was pleasant and everybody had done what they're supposed to do.
Nothing came up that week.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, it's Paul Turner was the guest. Get out of here, big tooth bastard. I'm going to yell at you on purpose now in front of those people.
Booey.
What happened was these guys decided that they were going to rob.
Who knew Paul Turner was there?
Who even knew?
Yeah,
who knew? He was sitting right next to Howard.
That's Gary's observation, completely wrong.
Got it easy this week.
I got it easy this week. Paul Turner's here. You should bring Paul Turner in every week, then you won't get yelled at.
Get a cardboard cutout.
All right, go ahead, Robin.
They put a gun in this guy's back, took him to the bank, and they were originally planning to rob him of $100,000.
Wish Paul Turner was there.
Then it wouldn't have happened.
Then it wouldn't have happened. They would have been embarrassed.
No one would have canceled.
There was no yelling at the meeting because Paul Turner was there. Paul Turner.
He's such a jerk.
When we have Paul Turner at the meetings, no one gets yelled at.
Yeah, why don't you record one of those yelling sessions and play it back on the air?
Be my guest.
Good idea.
Believe me, I wish that then you could listen to him and maybe learn something finally after 10 years.
I wish you could listen to him and see how embarrassing it is for everyone involved.
Yeah, well, you know what? If some people did their jobs around here, Gary, maybe I wouldn't have to yell. Like, maybe I wouldn't have to lay awake at night wondering if you guys follow what I tell you to do.
Right, because, we all sit in lounge chairs drinking big margaritas around here.
No, we all get on our computers only 3 days a week at home and don't replicate and don't read the memos.
Well, we all don't have the money to go out and buy brand new computers, Howard.
You've got a computer at home, Gary.
That's right, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. My computer
Your computer hasn't worked this week?
No, my computer works fine for everything except Lotus Notes.
Good. Well, maybe for your future job, you better get on a good computer.
Is that some sort of a threat?
Yes.
Just curious.
That's a threat.
Okay, take it as one.
Thank you.
Wait a minute.
Booey.
Is that a threat?
But he doesn't even know when a threat is made. This is my problem with him.
Hold on, I'm looking up threat.
He's the producer of the show who has to read memos, and he can't read the memos.
All he had to do was sit back there and be quiet and keep his hand off that button.
Yeah, he can't do it, though.
Can't do it, Robin. It's not him, it's you. You can listen to him day in and day out. It's your voice.
I didn't say a word. We were doing the news. All of a sudden, you break in.
Hey, Gary.
What, did you make the Paul Turner joke for the 50th time? Drop dead, both of you.
Oh.
Hey, Gary, maybe you ought to get Paul Turner in here. I won't yell at you.
Yeah, that's really funny.
I'm not being funny. I don't like to yell in front of him.
We're being serious.
You better bring him in here. Maybe then he won't get yelled at.
Yeah, maybe.
You have no idea how embarrassing it is for me when I look for a bit and it's not here because you guys decide on your own that you're not going to produce it.
Why don't you talk about the 100 times?
You think that is embarrassing? I don't care about the 100 times.
No, why don't you talk about the 100 times you look for bits and you can't find them and you scream like a maniac when they're right in front of you under your papers?
Hey, Gary, you can always take over the show in 3 years when I retire.
I'm not looking to take over
We'll
the show.
see you do it.
I'm not looking to take over the show. I just don't think it's fair to be yelled at in front of people and emasculated.
Well, then do your job and it won't happen.
Okay, I'll start trying to do a better job.
There's got to be a better way to get back than to yell at him through a puppet.
If Paul Turner was here, I wouldn't be doing any of this.
We need a Paul Turner puppet.
What a read on that situation. Who even knew Paul Turner was in the room?
Yeah, it would be so hard to tell, Howard. He was sitting right next to you.
Yeah, I wasn't busy looking at him.
I guess I was.
Because, Gary, that was one of the weeks where you didn't have to be yelled at because you did your job.
Yeah, so far I'm 2 for 8.
Good. Keep
2 weeks
rolling.
not yelled at and 8 weeks getting yelled at.
You could always go to another radio show or perhaps a TV show.
I'm not unhappy here. I just wouldn't like to be yelled at. I didn't say I was unhappy.
Well, do your job. You won't get yelled at.
Sometimes I don't know what my job is, Howard. It changes on a daily basis. The parameters grow.
No, the job is the same. And by the way, No day will ever be the same. Have you not realized that?
I didn't say it has to be the same, but there has to be some consistency.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll work on that. We'll make it consistent for you.
Now you've got your assignment.
Now I have my assignment. Make Gary's job consistent.
I would never dream of assigning you anything.
Gary, why don't we do the same radio show every day with the same guests and the same jokes, and then everything would be consistent?
You can reduce it to that, but you know it's more than that.
You know what Gary's favorite movie is? Groundhog Day. He wakes up every day and his job's the same.
It's the same day.
Gary, you can have it. It's called working in the post office.
I know what to do today.
I know what to do today. I got to sort the mail.
11716.
Time to make the donuts.
Time to make a donut. Where was it? His dad working? An ice cream store. Yeah, today I'm going to get ice cream. That's what you call having a job where everything is the same every day.
Stir the vanilla.
Jackie, you just shut up.
Stir the chocolate.
No, wait a second. I used the wrong spoon. I used my chocolate spoon for my vanilla.
Oh,
Howard, you know as well as I do. I mean, listen, if you want to crack jokes, but you know as well as I do that even though the show's different on a daily basis, there are certain constants and things
Like
that we
what?
work on and we don't.
Okay, like what?
Like the notes that I write for you on the guest, you could look at and respond to me in some way, so I'd have.
And how many times have I told you that I've read the Drew Carey notes to just put them in bullet points? He hands me today. Today he hands me.
Hold on a second. Why don't you let me
Drew
respond?
Carey's coming in.
Why don't you let me respond?
He hands me on the air a book
You
of
do it
notes.
all in your head.
It's
Don't have
unbelievable. And I said, well, Gary, what am I going to do? Read while Drew Carey's here? He goes, but I thought you were supposed to read through the notes. I said, I did, but now that I'm on the air, I can't sit and read on the air.
Read through them and tell me what you like about them.
I told you I liked them. I said, final copy. They're good. Just make them into questions.
Every note that was in.
He hands me the Constitution of the United States and says, here, go interview Drew Carey.
We the people of the
It's
house.
the OJ transcript.
Yeah, and I mean, there might be something good in those notes, but go try and sift through them inside of 3 seconds. And I got Tom telling me to read 30 live commercials. Here's some notes for Drew
You don't have
Carey.
enough reading to
Look at
do.
them in
Please
advance.
give them to me. At least give them to me at the beginning of the show. I do. I'm just telling you, I read them when you send them to me, but I can't commit them to memory.
But you don't.
Oh,
He's
here
coming
he
in.
is.
Oh, it was better yelling
I
at you
don't.
through the
No, get back on the box. I won't talk to you this way. No, get back on the box.
I don't want to.
All right, I'll turn off your mic. All right, you're out. All right, Robin, finish the news.
Now he's going to run from mic to mic.
Your mic is in the other room.
Wow, we had fun. He needs the exercise.
He does. He's so fat.
My God.
He's now wearing like a tent. He's got a shirt on today.
Jackie handed it down to me. You don't always read the notes.
I do. What notes haven't I read, Gar?
And what would be the big deal, Howard? For you
What
to look-
notes haven't I read, Gar?
And Howard, if I give you something at the beginning of the show,
Okay.
you can't be interested in it at 6. It's not a bad thing, but you're very busy.
All right.
You're
If you hand me a basket full of notes the size of the United States
but
Constitution,
Howard, why can't you?
the second Drew Carey comes in, I am telling you, don't ask me why can't I. I'm telling you I can't absorb all of those notes in one shot. I'm telling you my needs.
But I give you stuff in the beginning of the show, and then you don't look at it.
I told you I look at it the night before. I want it in question form. Why is that hard for you to understand?
Because so everything that's in the notes, forget about the Drew Carey notes.
He doesn't care. He doesn't want to listen.
Say, yes, I read them. Yes, I read them.
Shut up, you bastard! I'll choke the crap out of you.
Here's what you do, Gar. Okay? How about this? I'll spell it out for you.
I'll turn the radio off.
I'm going to do your job for you. Okay? You ask me a question, I'll give you the answer because I don't want to bore the audience.
Hold on.
Can't hear you.
All right. Here's what you do. You have a paragraph of information, leave it there. On top, put the question, and in yellow highlighter, put the question. If I want to read deeper into it, I will. Oh, there's a system. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. He won't do it. And then he says to me, why can't you take these pile of notes and do something with them?
Why are we having this discussion on the air? This
I don't
is supposed
know.
to be an entertainment show. We're
There's
not
nothing
supposed to be
entertaining going on here.
Dealing
this is so
with
entertaining.
the inner workings of the show on the air.
These guys get upset when I yell because here's what I do. I'm a stupid guy. I've got about 10 people working on this show. Gary tells me there's not enough people working on the show. All right? Because Gary's busy. He's on the phone with appearances. I got a part-time producer. Everyone's in show business on this show, okay? So
Howard, hold on.
he's got his charities.
Bring this up.
He's got his charities. He's got his. He's on the phone wheeling and dealing all day. He logs onto his notes a couple of times a week, and I tell him what I need. I tell Scott, the engineer. I say, "Hey, Scott, Here's what I need.
You know what?
I need a bit
here
this
he is.
morning. No, I'm talking.
to me.
Just stop being funny.
No, that's right. I say to Scott, the engineer, I need a bit. Can you bring it in here this morning? Gary gives it to him. Scott forgets about it. Gary forgets about it. They decide not to give it to me. So Gary gets upset because I yell. Well, I think I have a right to yell. I work hard on this material.
Howard, there was
coming up with it. I was up at night getting Kathy and getting some interns to run out on the street to do a bit.
A lot of work went into
Yeah.
it to create it, and then it didn't get played.
You should have been angrier than I am. This is why I'm really mad at you. You
was
should have been angrier than I am.
I was angry.
I shouldn't have been the one that even had to yell in that meeting.
I started to. You just take over.
Yeah, well, you're not getting through to
Howard,
Scott.
if you can't be in a meeting where you can't yell, you ain't happy.
Well, I shouldn't be
I
yelling.
thought the Paul
Well,
Turner
we all
meeting
agree
was-
that.
A real producer yells for
He
me.
left very unhappy.
My point is,
And when about
did I yell to Scott in front of everyone? You're
Yes, you
damn
did.
right I
Yes, you
did.
did.
Because you want to know something? He wasn't doing what I asked
And you
him
know
to
what?
do.
The most, can I just tell you something? While
And
we're on
Gary,
subject?
as
Look,
another guy.
As long as we're going to be open and honest about stuff, you know what the
Yeah.
most insulting part of the day for me was?
Yes.
Was that you do that to me all the time. I mean,
Right.
you really let me have it, right?
That's right.
And then you just go home. It's no big deal.
Right.
You actually walk back and apologize to Scott. Hey, gee, I'm sorry I came down a little hard on you.
That's
Like,
right.
What am I?
That's right.
What am I, like the orphan here?
Yeah. You,
Like you would talk to me like that and never blink another eye.
Scott has the saddest life I've ever seen out of any human being.
Well, I'm working on catching up.
Scott might be as sad as they come. All right?
So that's a good thing. He doesn't feel as sorry for you.
I don't feel sorry for you.
I know that.
All right? Scott is pathetic. But he's also very talented. I hold out some hope for him.
And me?
I don't know. The thought is still ruminating in my mind that you might not have any hope.
13 years it's been ruminating.
That's I'm bringing you along. I'm trying.
I just started my
I'm
14th
trying.
year last week. That's some thought in there.
He's working on it.
We'll see.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Well, maybe the next meeting you and Scott will bring in Paul Turner, and you'll be safe.
Now we'll bring in these other people. I'm sure you'll yell at me on purpose.
No, we're not. And then if I don't yell at him, he goes, "Well, there was a meeting where you didn't yell because Paul Turner
yeah,
was
we
there."
had
No,
guests,
because you
you
did
see?
fine.
No, I actually made a mistake in that meeting, and you handled it fine. There was something I
Gary,
didn't
you're
get
allowed to make mistakes,
I am,
but you can't be a part-time producer.
and I'm not. What makes you? Where do you think I'm a part-time producer?
You
what
have to. You
what
have to
outside-
be logged on to Lotus Notes every night.
I
You
go-
have to be logged on to your computer every night, and even Saturdays and Sundays. Yeah,
And I do. I go in, but it's. I
No, you
explained
don't.
to you the problem. And I
I
explained
told
to
you
them
what you
getting
do.
a new
You download about 161 messages in one shot. I have a database I look at to see who logs in.
Howard, it's because of the problems I have.
Fred logs
with the
on about
computer.
900 times a day. Jackie logs on 900 times a day.
Howard, it's because of the problem. I'm having it fixed, but
No,
of
your
course at
computer
my own
was
expense.
fixed. Your computer was
It's
fixed.
not fixed. You want to come and watch how it works? Why don't
It
you
is
ask Freddie
fixed.
about it? Ask Freddie about how it works on a
Your
Mac.
computer
I hate to
is
say it.
fixed this week,
I
and
don't-
you only logged on 3 times.
It's not fixed. My computer is not fixed.
Your computer is fixed.
It is not fixed.
What's wrong with it?
You do not understand how
What
it
is wrong
to
with
use
it?
that program.
What is
on
wrong with
Mac.
your computer this week? This past week that you logged in 3 times?
It's not this past week. It's been the
What-
past 4
I understand.
months.
What
The
about
4
this past week?
I'm telling you,
Was
this
your computer
entire
working
time,
this past week?
It works very, very, very slowly.
Okay.
So slowly that by the time I finish my dinner and put my kid to bed
Yeah.
at 9 o'clock, it'll take me 25 minutes to replicate and sometimes as much as 2 minutes to open up one single note.
Because you replicate 161 messages.
That's not
in
what
a
it's
sitting.
about.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
not what it's
whatever.
about.
I'm telling you, I watch your activity.
But one has nothing to do with the
As
other.
soon as I can keep my eye on you, I know what you're up to.
You're like
Nonsense.
You're like a scary human.
That's right. I know what you're doing. I'm wise
Wait,
to you.
But it doesn't matter. One has nothing to do with the other.
Okay.
That's your little Nazi you have out at the house.
Okay. Who's that?
You know who.
That has nothing to do with her. I have a database that makes me watch.
Me open up my notes.
No, I have a readout of who logs on when. And don't call anybody a Nazi because they do their job. You know, whoever catches Gary is a Nazi.
He just digs his hole deeper.
He digs his hole
could care
deeper.
less, man.
Anybody who does their job is a Nazi.
It was almost over. You now fueled
Robin,
your own
I don't
fire.
even hear you.
I know you don't, but I'm not even
Here's the
helping
wonderful
this
thing.
one along.
How long have we been on Lotus Notes? Year and a half?
Yeah.
At what point will Robin be joining us?
I don't need Robin on there.
Sure we do.
I need you on there.
No, sure we do. But
What do I need her on there for?
Because it's a whole creative thing. It's a team. We're all involved in
me,
different
you,
things.
Jackie, and Fred, or and Kathy have to be on there. No one else.
It wouldn't be nice, though.
It'd be wonderful if she was on there, but I don't need
But
her
I
to
still
be on
wouldn't
there.
be on the whole thing anyway.
Most of the stuff I don't even want her knowing about. You don't know that?
I know that.
Okay. Go ahead. Go back to your hole.
No.
Come on. Unbelievable that you don't know that. What's the matter with you?
Now go to the call where people say they could do the job better than me.
Scott, you're on the air. Hi, what's up?
Scott, king of all drunks. I'm bombed 24 hours a day. I even got an IV bottle here so I can drink while I sleep. My VCR is programmed to record the E! Show every night, and I wake up at 6 o'clock every morning, listen to the whole show, and tape that too. This guy's got to be a real moron. He can't do the job.
He's right. He's right. And he don't like being yelled at, and anyone who does their job is a Nazi, and people are watching him.
Yeah.
Oh,
By the
my.
way,
That's
hello,
beautiful.
Robin.
That's a
Thank
beautiful
you for
description of
signing my
somebody.
book.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
That's a Nazi.
I remember I was
That's your
the last-
Nazi out there. Nazi. Everyone's a Nazi. Anybody who does their job is a Nazi. That's what I love.
Keep going.
Let's see who else we got.
Hey, Howard. Good morning.
Yes.
I got a little story to tell you.
You know, I gotta go. I can't take it here. I forget it. It's fine. I came to some conclusions. Go ahead, Robin. Finish the news, please.
Thank you.
Yes.
Former presidential candidate or vice presidential candidate Geraldine Ferraro is considering a run for the Senate seat, the U.S. Senate seat representing New York against Senator Alphonse D'Amato, who is expected to run for re-election.
Gary would be a good campaign manager for Geraldine Ferraro.
You would
Maybe
like to hook them
if
up?
she's looking for a campaign manager, a highly organized individual. Perfect. You know, I had no problem with him until he started in with me
this
just
is
now.
what I'm saying. This was something that didn't have to happen.
No, he always digs his own
He
grave.
created it himself.
He always digs a hole for himself. I had no problem with him.
And then it was about to go away, and then he had to get on the squawk box.
I know.
And then it was going away, and then he had to come in.
You cause your own problems.
You were just laughing at something.
I had no problem with you. I had
we
no
were
problem with
having
you.
fun.
I just sat back here, and I Robin's doing the D'Amato story, and
I had no problem
so
with you.
I said, "Cool, they're back in the news." And
See,
I
you have yet to realize you're my producer. You're my management. You got to be the one yelling at people. You got to be the one taking charge. You're not the guy who sits and calls people Nazis. Those are the people who are supposed to be helping you.
It doesn't always turn out that way.
All right.
This is a dumb conversation to have for
No,
our
it's not.
listeners.
We'll have it.
But it's about opening up your database and opening up a piece of mail, even if you replicate every night. So you get
But you don't.
But even if you did, it wouldn't matter because I do replicate a bunch of days in
Well,
a
how
row.
could you not replicate every night?
And you can't open up your mail. It just takes a long time.
You replicate on a Sunday night. How can you know what's going on?
Howard, you don't. It's like talking with dice. You don't talk to somebody.
All right.
You don't want to hear me.
I'm hearing you. You're saying it doesn't work. I'm telling you it does.
I'm telling you that if you came to my house
Yeah.
and I downloaded 50 notes, say 50,
Okay.
for argument's sake, to open up one database.
Now
and
I have
one
to go to
note
his house.
Takes a long time. But you don't want to listen. Do
you want me to go to your house and solve your problem?
As soon as I start to make a little sense, you just make a joke or go off into another direction.
All right, whatever. I don't know. If I
You
was the
don't
producer of the
wanna
show,
hear it.
I would solve the
But you
problem.
don't wanna hear
Find
it.
a way to solve it.
I have
Solve the
found a way
problem.
to solve it. I'm getting a new computer
Ah.
on the 28th.
Way to go.
It's an Apple, and that is because
Good
that is
going.
a computer that my wife works with.
All right, whatever. He does whatever his wife tells him to do. All
Yeah,
right.
she shouldn't work.
Very good. You did great.
Did
You
what?
distinguished yourself today.
Attacking people who haven't done anything.
That
to
woman
you.
has never said a word to me about Gary.
Yeah.
That's true.
He still doesn't believe you.
I think everybody on the show talks about everybody sooner or later.
Okay, whatever.
Well, just because you're talking about everybody doesn't mean everybody else
I'd
is
just like
doing
to
it.
say I have never talked about Fred.
Robin, let's get a camera on you during a commercial talking about everybody. But let's go back to the
I
news.
do my job during the commercial.
And that's my
I'm running
job.
around here not talking to anybody.
All right, this is ridiculous.
Just
Let's end it.
Go, because you
I
keep
want-
doing
let's
it.
start
keep
the next-
distracting
I
your
know.
ball.
I want to start the new story.
All right, go ahead. Go into your office and do whatever it is
I
you
wanna
do.
wait a minute.
Go ahead. Go replicate. You find an apple because his wife's work. That dopey work.
Don't they already have an Apple? Let her have that.
Let her have that apple and buy yourself a new computer.
PC.
Why are you buying another apple?
Because I don't have room for two computers in my house.
don't?
No.
How do you have room
big
for
are
a treadmill?
I put it against the wall. It lifts up.
So why don't you put the PC instead of the treadmill? Then you'll be able to do your job. You know you're not going to use the treadmill.
Hasn't been effective so far.
That's more likely he'll use
Jackie,
the
you
PC.
get fatter by the day. How do you keep making fat jokes? You put
on
on
over,
a
babe.
bra.
Come on over, babe.
I did. And it was close.
You eclipsed me.
Eclipsed me.
The guys in the East room said they couldn't believe you stood up next to me.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Remember they
All right. Listen, this is a discussion for off the air. I do not want to have this on the air.
Really?
I really don't.
Then why'd you decide that now?
Because you put my back up against the wall.
Do we all agree that we're done?
I only yell when they're guests.
Do we all agree that we're done?
Did you have 3 donuts today or not?
5.
Did you really?
Hell yeah.
So what do you got a treadmill for? Get a computer so you can do your work.
Or put the donuts on the treadmill. You walk
Yeah, really?
5, baby. And I ain't done yet.
Bring him a donut.
You're out of control.
That's 3 that those Nazis in the office saw.
Right. All right, go back and have
Crazy.
fun. Go ahead. You're having a good life. Go ahead.
People, oh, f***ing nuts.
I'm still working on Gary's computer and why he bought another apple.
Don't try to get into his head.
It's my wife's work.
And my wife is allowed to work.
I don't stop your wife from working. Give her that old junky computer. The one she made you buy in the first place.
It's an apple.
He's so proud of that. Now again, he won't be able to do his work.
When do we get to be done?
He bought another apple.
Gary, if you'd be quiet, we wouldn't have material.
He's telling me the apple was no good.
Yeah.
And now he bought another apple.
My Apple takes forever to download, so I went and got
An apple.
I solved the problem. Oh, good. You solved the problem. What'd you do? I bought an apple.
We don't have room for 2 computers.
I got rid of my Apple.
You got room for a treadmill? Oh.
That's because the treadmill lifts up and I'm not going to use it.
If it was my job, I'd make some room for it.
Oh, boy.
I don't think he realizes he needs the computer at home.
You're going to spend time.
Okay, I'm fascinated by my producer. I'm sorry. I'm just fascinated by the thinking that goes on. If I'm not there to think for him. He went and bought another apple. I'm sorry. I'm totally distracted now.
If you come to my house,
You would see.
Robin, let me just ask you a question. Could you sit in here while Howard and I sat there and goofed on you and shut up? Could you do that?
and there's that Nazi calling from your house.
Yeah, the Nazi.
Just answer the question.
Well, you know, Apple has good video games. A Princess of Persia.
There you go.
Save the princess.
If the Apple Corporation goes under, well, what will my excuse be? I apologize to my audience for that behind-the-scenes look.
Well, with all these guests here, I'm amazed that you yelled at him.
Well, let's all have a pleasant weekend.
Yeah.
And that was something. That was really some way to end the show.
And, you know, that's it, but that too.
Right.
I think that sums it
Well,
all up.
because Gary says I never apologized. And what I said to Scott after the meeting was, I said, Scott, listen to me. I got very heated in there. But I believe in your talents. I believe you're a talented guy.
And you never say anything like this to Gary?
I've said this a million times to Gary, but it, you know.
Rolls off.
I
It
am
rolls
sorry.
And I'll say it to Gary. I believe you're a talented guy. You bald bastard. Because he wants me to say to him what I said to Scott. No, Gary was... Gary, here, I'll say it to you exactly what I said to Scott. That's not an apology. It's saying I believe... The reason I have you here is because I believe in you. Say this. I can be somebody.
I can be somebody.
Yeah, right. No, what I'm saying is I believe in you.
It'd be nice to hear once in a while.
Well, you're hearing it now.
Sometimes-
I'll do it right in front of the audience. I believe in you.
Well, I believe in you. I think
All
you're
right.
the most talented guy in radio.
There you go. And here's the deal.
You can ruin anything.
I'm just looking to be inspired by your brilliance. That is all.
Yeah.
Well, because you're so brilliant, I am disappointed when your brilliance is not there. I know that you're gypping me of your brilliance.
Make him proud.
practically stealing from you.
That's what I say to Scott. I said to Scott, I've seen the work you've done. You're capable of even more than we give you. Did I not say that to him?
Yes, you did.
I did. In the words of Lucky Luciano.
What?
What? No, let me tell you something. You are a talent, and we're blessed to have you here. I know that. I know if you were stolen away tomorrow, I'd be destroyed. But no, I'm being serious. But I know that your brilliance, I need it 24 hours a day. It's not enough for me. You know what? You're like a pro bowler. You know what you bowl? 290. I want 300. That's all. It's not that you're off by a lot. You just need 10 more points.
And he knows you can bowl 300.
Yeah. I know you can. Because without tuchus, I know you can't run. But bowling, I believe you could do. Go ahead. Now go charm me. Go show me your brilliance. Thank you.
Right this second?
Thank you for being so brilliant and working for me. That's all. That's what I said to Scott.
Now, will you remember this?
I will remember till the day I die, Robin.
Thank you. Seriously, I believe in you a lot. I believe you're very talented.
Believe me, he's told me this off the air. I know he's telling me the truth.
I'm telling you the truth.
I keep waiting for the punchline.
There's no punchline.
No, he's told me.
I'm telling you. I've told Robin, I believe Gary, because he said to me many times, why don't you get rid of Gary?
Oh, stop it. Here he goes again.
There's the Nazi. You want somebody who talks to me about you.
Lie.
Robin can't stop talking about you.
I believe it's been...
I don't even talk to you anymore.
I got to tell you, I genuinely
Laura,
believe...
who works at my house, does not talk to me about you.
I think you're wrong, Howard. I believe it's been a number of years since Robin said you should fire me.
Well,
I don't
you'd
say
be
that
wrong.
anymore. He won't listen.
No, I believe in you. And you tell your wife I believe in you. And tell anyone you meet on the street today that I believe in you.
That's about me and you, man. It's not about me and my wife or me or anybody on the street.
You
It's
are
about me and you.
terrific. Terrific.
He's told me many times. We put a lot on Gary. I expect a lot of him.
In fact, now there's 10 times more on you than there's been last week.
And Howard,
but I know you'll handle it.
I think you're I'm not just blowing smoke up you, but I think you're the greatest talent. I would never
I don't
dream.
think he needs to hear
I don't need to hear.
No, but
I don't want to.
But I want you to know.
I don't want you to compliment me.
I would never dream.
I'm going to cut you off your microphone if you compliment me.
You just always say,
no,
where
you're going
would
to
you
embarrass
go?
me. No, I know exactly how you feel about
I would
me.
never dream of working for another radio person because it would be a drag. Working for another radio person would be substandard.
And believe me, there isn't a night I lay in bed. I'm not nervous you're going to get stolen away. All right, so listen to me.
Now you're going a little.
I know there was that one night that you were really weirded out because the Lisa Sliwa people had contacted me.
That's right.
You were
That
a little
really
upset.
I was upset. I don't want to lose you. No, listen to me. You do a great job. We have differences because it's a very fast pace in here. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot to keep track of. But you, like a bowler who bowls 290. In fact, you remind me of a bowling ball. I think there's 3 holes in your head. I can stick my fingers in.
If a guy bowled a 290 every time he went out,
I'd say he's great.
He'd usually win.
I'd say
and
he'd
probably
win.
end up in the Hall of Fame.
Right. But not on this show. 300 is what I expect. That's all. I know you're capable of even more. That's where I'm.
This is like the Olympics.
I'm taking you to greatness.
Whenever somebody makes a 10, we change the criteria.
Right.
Yeah, except in the Olympics, inevitably you get up on a podium, handed some flowers, and you get a medal.
Once in a while, you get a little dopey.